Well, welcome back to Villa Spinabella. I feel like I've been off camera for a good 6 weeks and time to restart the engines. Had a few personal challenges with my mother passing, but we are back and we have been incredibly busy this last few weeks. So last season, we were mostly clearing through the garden and the house just to try and see what we're dealing with. There's still a ton of work to be done, but in this week, the goal was to engage with and activate as many third-party companies, entities, individuals, and tradesmen as possible to try and accelerate the work activity. That in itself has created even more work. So building a portfolio of, building a team, as you'll probably know, takes a lot of work, but also building a trusted team that know what they're doing and that get stuff done is incredibly challenging. But that was my goal. My goal for this week is I put a post together on Facebook to attract people interested in working on the Spinabella project. We have had my friend Ben, an architect from London, with his two colleagues from Milan and Rome, come to the house on Friday. Ben stayed the night and I found him exploring the house in great detail, taking lots of photographs, which was pretty amazing. The weekend we mainly cleared up and managed to get the house back in a working state. It's quite complicated keeping the house in a state where you can get things done because it's a big-ish house. We still have no water, the electricity is intermittent, and eating, drinking, as well as getting stuff done can be quite challenging, but you have to allocate time, you've got to be very focused. However, all of that is thrown to the wind the moment someone arrives, someone visits, or there is an emergency, which is all the time. So today we have had the guys over to do 2D scans and 3D scans of the house, and he even fired up a drone today, and I'm super excited to see what that looks like, although I did have two sofa chairs for the skip outside, so it might look like faulty towers, but we'll see how we go on that. I've been desperately wanting to put together a more articulate video to kickstart this week, and I promised myself I'd get it done Monday, and I'm going to try and produce something 5 minutes, 8 minutes every day this week to get some quality back onto the channel. So this hideous sofa I'm sat on is a sofa bed that I was going to throw out, but I thought it might be useful. So I'm probably going to get a throw from upstairs and try and cover it with something pretty. I'm currently in the living room, and I thought, just for fun, I'd do 1 minute in each of the different areas of the downstairs of the house to give you a bit of a feel for what's going on. This video should be about 8 to 10 minutes in length in total, and hopefully gives you a better feel of what we're up to. So let's move. Over here is our lounge area, and I have currently got the fire going, which is awesome. Voila. And this is one of my daily routines, is actually getting into the living room. I try and get a couple of buckets set up with logs and twigs and stuff to get the fire going. Today, I was over at Mrs. Scoretti's house and I managed to find a big log. So that's the big log that I put in there. And we did manage to give this place a good clean, which means I can sit on the coffee table without worrying about totally being covered in chocolate cake and God knows what else. The fire is up and it takes the edge off the house. Also, I'm about to do some cooking. which means we'll probably sit in here and have some food. But one of my favorite rooms, most evenings, takes a lot of time to get it set up, takes a lot of time to clean it the next day, but it's kind of the reward for the working day. What else is in here? Not much today. Other than getting the crazy fountain on a skateboard. I like it on a skateboard. It's actually like a building prop tool, but I can move it around the house as I need to. Anyway, moving out of here. This room you've never seen before, I'd imagine, because I've mostly been in this room only when needing equipment or tools. So I was using it as a tool and storage area, and I've now moved that tool and storage to a utility room off the kitchen. So I'm trying to clear this room out so it is bare, so that it can be used for something else other than just holding stuff. So I still have a cabinet full of junk on this wall that I need to clear. I just haven't had the time. And I'm also going to try and clear through that. The other thing that's odd in here is that we have the back of the fish tank, which makes no sense. I can't even get into the fish tank. It makes no sense. In this room, we're now in the staircase hallway. So the girls were here this weekend, and I managed to pull together what was the nativity set from the Christmas theme of the house. And Xavier was informed that this was a fairy world, and we were planning on putting it in the garden to attract fairies, but it is made out of chipboard and it would have died in a heartbeat. So we didn't do it, and we have still some flowers running from Xavier's garden picking session. So this little spot is clean and tidy, and I need to figure out where to put the fairy garden. Any suggestions? Maybe we stick it in the wardy. I don't know. As I mentioned, the cupboard beside the kitchen has now become the full utility space, which is great. And the kitchen has definitely become a little bit more comfortable. I am literally processing through the kitchen china sets from around the house through the wash system, and then getting them into the cupboards so that we can actually use them. I found one beautiful set of green glasses today. I've got to process those cocktail glasses, and the cupboards are starting to look pretty clean with functioning equipment and stuff that we can use. So that's pretty cool. The utility room is still a bit of a dumping zone, and I do need to get that stuff through the actual wash process. This room you've probably already seen a couple of times, but pretty pleased with the drinks cabinet, to be honest. We've used this room for dinners, and we've had a couple of lunches with the surveyors when they came in. It's a pretty cool room. I did manage to get all of the wine from the cellar into a little drinks cabinet, going from the oldest at the bottom to the newest at the top. And we've even had some wine gifted in from Giancarlo. The other discovery was behind me, which was a cupboard full of glasses. What I loved about this cupboard is that we found how the house is built. And if you can see that, that is a huge piece of Roman stone. And I was advised today by the historian